Okay, here we go. Welcome to another episode of Camtasia Hacks. My name is Steve Burnich, and in this video, I want to show you how to create custom mouse or cursor animations if you're creating a tutorial, or really a marketing video, or anything that has screens and a mouse clicking around. I don't like to use, obviously in this video, I'm using my native cursor here, but when I'm creating a tutorial or a video for a client, in order to give it that extra kind of production quality, I create a custom mouse animation. So you can see on the screen here, on the screen recording, this is the native mouse right here, this white cursor you see here on the screen, and it kind of jumps all over the place, and I've got all these edits down here on the timeline with all my call outs and everything, and I really like to have full control over this mouse cursor and how it animates. I want it to be smooth, I want it to be succinct. So here's what I do. I've pretty much got this project done. Again, all my call outs and everything are on here. I haven't added really any zooms or pans. That's the last thing I do. But before I do the zooms and pans, I want to add a mouse animation. So let me first, I want to create a track here to add a mouse. So I'm going to actually, I want to add it on top of everything. So that way my call outs here, I call these call outs, I think Camtasia calls them sketch motions. So this rectangle call out here, I actually want my mouse to go on top of it, because otherwise, let me see if I can find one here. Otherwise, let's see, let me go back. You can see the call out or the sketch motion goes on top of the native cursor. So I want my mouse, my animated mouse, to be on top of everything. So in my library, I've created a library for media assets, and years ago I downloaded a PNG of a mouse pointer. So let me just put it here on the project, and then I'm going to bring it all the way across the timeline here for pretty much the duration of the project. I will adjust that here momentarily. Now I know that, so here's the mouse cursor right here that I just added, the PNG, right? I know that I'm going to be zooming in a lot after I get done animating the mouse, so I actually want to drop down the size of this mouse to about 20%. Okay. All right, so it's a little bit smaller, and now I'm going to zoom in on my canvas so I can, let me drag around the canvas so I can see this. I actually want the mouse to probably start, actually I want it to start right over down here on the procedures button. So this is a medical software tutorial, and we're showing how to document a procedure. So let me do this. You notice the canvas, there's a lot of snapping. I don't like this when I'm going to animate this mouse. So I'm going to turn snapping off by hitting Command semicolon, and now I can move the mouse around freely without any snapping. So I'm going to go back to the beginning. Let me look at my canvas in full view, and right about here is where I actually want the mouse to come on. So let me trim that, and I'll add a little fade. Let's go to transitions, fade, and that'll fade that mouse cursor on, you can see right up there. Okay, now I am going to go ahead again, I'm going to zoom in on my canvas here so I can get a better look at things. Now, what I do, this may seem kind of like a tedious process, and it is, but I do it all the time, so I've gotten pretty fast at it. What I do is I don't watch the entire project. I don't really need to. I can just scrub through and look at where the native mouse goes, and I will end up following that with animations using my mouse pointer PNG file here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scrub along the project, and I'm going to look at the native mouse. Oh, it clicks on that tab, so I want to come right back before it clicks on that tab up here at the top, and I'm going to lay down an animation. Shift A, lay down the animation on my mouse pointer, and I'm going to grab this mouse pointer and I'm going to drag it up here. So now you can see how that looks. Let me just watch the PNG mouse over here. It's going to go up, hit that tab, and it's going to basically click on the tab there. I am finding now that I'm looking at it, I think the scale needs to go back to 40%. So I'm going to turn on global animations here. I'm going to put this back to 40%. Actually, let's go to 30%. Okay, we put it back here under procedures. It's going to go up to this tab, and then it's going to go over to that tab, and then that tab right there. Shift A, drag it over. Next tab is right there. Shift A. Okay, and we're just going to keep following this along. So let me just show you what we've got here.
The buttons within each tab can be customized by your practice. Each procedure functions slightly different, so let's look at 3 examples, which should provide you a good overview of the functionality. Let's start with a urinalysis.
And there you have it. I think you got the idea, so I'm going to go ahead and lay down the rest of my animations. I went through, and as you can see on the timeline on my mouse pointer PNG, I've got all these animations laid down here, and those are really following the native mouse cursor, again, to give it a more polished, succinct kind of look. Now at the end here, I'm pretty much, I am done clicking on any buttons or anything, and so there's really no need to have the cursor any longer, so I'm just going to fade it out here at the end. And now if we go back, you can watch. I'm just going to scrub through, keep an eye on the canvas up here. You can see the mouse, the animated mouse is pretty much just going to click along with the native mouse. Kind of see that? Okay. Now, one thing is, of course, we don't want the native mouse on there anymore, because then we'd have 2 mice, if that's how you say it. Okay, so I'm going to highlight all of the original recordings here. I'm going to come up to my mouse properties, my cursor properties. I'm going to scale the native mouse down to 1%, which basically makes it disappear. You won't see it anymore. And let me just check. I don't think we have it on these. These 3 clips here are actually screenshots, and I don't think the mouse is on there. So we should be good to go. So one more time, let me just show you here. Now without the native mouse on there, you can see, let me just play this in real time. I'm going to mute the voiceover. But you can see now, I'm just going to play for a few seconds in real time. The animated mouse is going to click, 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 and you can see it's much cleaner that way. You don't have this kind of squirrely little native mouse running around on the screen and confusing our viewers. This makes it just very very clean and succinct. So one thing is, occasionally the animation might be off a little bit. Let's see. Like I'd kind of like that. I kind of like the mouse to hit the button, this urinalysis button, a little bit sooner. So I'm just going to scoot this animation back. Of course, you can adjust the length of the animations to lands, then the screen changes. So that's how you animate a custom mouse cursor in Camtasia. That probably takes me an additional 15-20 minutes for a 3 or 4 minute video. It doesn't take much time at all, and I think you get a lot of quality out of just an extra 15 or 20 minutes. So I hope that was helpful. If it was, consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more great Camtasia hacks. Thanks for watching.